Let's talk about how to run all of the basic option plays in College Football 25. Now, what you want to do in your playbook is you want to scroll over to the concept tab, and then you can select the option right here, and it'll show you all the different types of options that are in your playbook. Now, you have to run all of these differently, so we're going to break them down. Now, the load and speed options are usually going to be the same plays, and these are my favorite types of options in the game, but we're going to talk about read options, shovel options, triple options, and all of that. So let's talk about the speed option. This one to me is the easiest one to run. It's the most effective. A lot of people are not good at stopping it, but when you run the option, there's a couple things you need to know. Number one, you can keep it with the QB. Number two, you can pitch it to the running back. Typically, you're going to be pitching it to the running back, but there's two types of pitches. You can tap the LB button for a quick pitch, but it's not going to have as much power. It's not going to hit them in stride as good, or you could hold it for a strong pitch. I think you should hold it pretty much every time because the quick pitch is kind of meant to just get the ball out quick if you're getting hit, but I find the strong pitch still comes out almost all the time anyway. So you want to hold it with the QB for like a brief second and then hit the quick pitch. And notice the defense will kind of dumb out a little bit, as you saw the guy kind of jumped in there. So even if they look like they're defending the running back good, you see how like he froze once we pitched it? That's why I like to pitch it, I will say, at least 80% of the time, because even when they're defending the running back, once you pitch it, for some reason they dumb out. So like the only way that you would stop that is like a user defender has to actually click on. So if you're playing computer, just pitch it every time. If you're playing a human opponent, if you're playing a good person, he's going to try to click on. You have to be mindful of that. If you see him click on and run out there, then you keep it with the QB. But you have to be very careful. Don't just predetermine that you're going to pitch it if you're playing against a good user. And you can see here, that's the worst one we had, and that was still a yard. Now, if you notice the defense is kind of going out there with the running back, you can keep it with the QB. But again, more times than not, I just rather pitch it either way, because you're going to see right here, they go to the running back, but when I pitch it, he bites in anyway. So the only time I like to keep it with a QB is if I'm playing an actual human opponent that is clicking on and he's showing me that he's going to run out with the running back. Then I keep it with the QB every time. Now, really quickly, I do want to let you know that I have a membership where I post all the highest level college football tips, ebooks, defenses, and more. I actually just dropped my ebook as well. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the pinned comment below. And I'm currently running a 7-day free trial, so you can check it out at no cost to you. Next, we're going to look at the read options. So these are going to be found in shotgun formations or pistol formations. So you usually have a few in your playbook. We're in the Navy's playbook right now, so they're going to have just a ton of options because that's mainly all they run. So we're going to just take this shotgun spread read option. Now, the read option is something you definitely want to practice before you take it in game. What you need to do is you need to look at the player, the defender that has the R above him. He's the read key. If he stands up right after the snap, you're just going to let the QB hand it to the running back, go up the middle. If he crashes down immediately, like starts running down, you want to hold the A button on Xbox or the X button on PlayStation to keep it with the QB. Now, I don't love read options in this game because a lot of times, even if he does crash down and you hold it with the QB, somebody block sheds quick, or if they're sending a blitz off the edge, the QB is still going to get hit. But against people that like to run a lot of standard defenses, just like standard cover 2, standard cover 3, standard man, just kind of vanilla coverages, this can work against them. But somebody that mixes it up and, sends blitzes, I don't really like using read options, so that's something to keep in mind. But we need to watch the read key to see what he does. So we could see he crashes in, so we hold it with the QB, and we get out. We want to make sure to slide because you don't want to take hits and fumble. But again, if you see him crash, you hold the A button on Xbox or X button on PlayStation to keep it with the QB. We could see he stood up there and we held it. We did wrong and we lost yards. So that's what happens if you guess wrong. And sometimes it can be tough to read. Like, you have to really practice this. As you can see, now here he's crashing down. And exactly what I just said a minute ago. A blitz off the edge, even though we made the right call, we still lost yards. So that's just, again, something to think about. Now we can see the read keys all the way to the outside. So if I see the read keys way out there, I'm just letting this get handed off to the running back every time because he's not going to be able to come in and catch the running back. It's just not going to happen. So here, we'll see. You see he stood up, so we hand it to the running back, and we're going to get big yards. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but you definitely want to practice it to get it down before you take it in game. See, he's crashing down. We're going to keep it with the QB. And you can get some big yards on this. Like I said, if you're playing people that run a lot of standard coverages, this can be good. If you're playing someone that blitzes a lot, I would not, use this against them. Another thing to note is even when they crash down more times than not, you'll still be fine handing it to the running back. You see, he crashed down there. It's something in older games, this would not work, but in more recent EA football games, even if he crashes down, you can keep it with the running back and he'll usually be fine because the handoff is quick. So with the read option, if you guess wrong by handing it to the running back, you're usually going to be fine. You're not usually going to lose any yards. The only thing that's bad is if you guess wrong with the QB. So that's just something to keep in mind. Hey, if you're enjoying this content and you're not subscribed, you might as well go ahead, subscribe, join the family so you can stay up to date with all the best college football tips all year long. I'm going to be dropping little videos like this every week to help you get better at the game. The next type of option we're going to look at is the shovel option. Now, in this playbook, they have like a bunch of different versions of it. They have inside veers and stuff. We just want to focus on actual, just regular shovel options. So if the play just flat out says shovel option, like these two right here, that's what we want to look at. Now, this is essentially kind of like a speed option, but you have the option to pitch it multiple ways. You can pitch it back to the running back, or you could shovel it ahead. So usually you're still going to wind up pitching it back because that's going to be the thing that works the best. It's going to give you the most yards by far. But if you're playing somebody again that likes to overcommit to the pitch guy, you know, you can try to like shovel it forward like this and pick up a few yards that way. Now the shovel, more times than not, it's going to be something that picks up a few yards, but sometimes, you know, you can like sneak out of there and get bigger yards. But you can see right now we're getting like 2-3 yards. Again, usually like if they're not going to defend the pitch back here, we're going to throw it to that guy because he's going to easily get the more consistent yardage. But it's nice to have another option on the play. And right there's a good thing I want to go over. We see that we didn't get it to him. There was a lot of traffic. That happens sometimes. But because we're shoveling it forward, it's just an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble. So don't worry about that. If there's traffic and you shovel it forward and he doesn't catch it, it's okay. It'll just be counted as an incomplete pass. It's not a fumble. Now, of course, you can also keep this with the QB if it's there too. So it gives you 3 different options on the play. So this can be really annoying to go against, especially if you're mixing in passes out of this. I mean, it's a lot to have to deal with. Now we're just going to show a different shovel option to the other side. Keep in mind, now that it's going the other way, the buttons are flipped. So to pitch it behind us, it's going to be RB here instead of LB. And to shovel it, it's going to be the LB button because we switch sides on the field. So make sure when you're practicing these plays, you take note of that type of stuff so you don't mess it up in game. And you see here, like sometimes you really can sneak out of there and get some sneaky yards with the shovel, and it's usually not expected. When they see you go into that option motion, almost nobody expects you to shovel it forward. Again, incomplete pass. So don't worry if you mess up the shovel. You know, that worst cases is going to be incomplete. But most people aren't expecting that. And again, if people are going to run out and defend your pitch guy behind you, this can be really sneaky. Now we're going to look at the triple option. So obviously in the Navy playbook or Army playbook, you're going to have a lot of this. I like this best out of like shotgun and pistol, but you will get some under center and flex bone in these formations, which it's a little bit different. But we're going to just look at like a shotgun one right now because, you know, that's kind of the easiest way to look at it. So now with the triple option, we have 3 options. It's just like it sounds, triple. We can hand it to the running back, or we can pull it with the QB by pressing the A or X button, just like a read option. And then we can either keep it with him or we pitch it. Now, you want to watch the R and the P. The R is the read key, just like a read option. So he's the first thing we read. If he stands up, we just let him hand it to the running back. If he crashes down, we pull it with the QB. And then at that point, we have to watch the P icon to see what he does. Does he take the QB or the running back? If he takes the QB, we pitch it. If he takes the running back, we keep it. But like regular options, like we've shown, even if he does take the running back, a lot of times when you pitch it, he will kind of like bug out a little bit. So you don't have to be perfect on this for it to work. More times than not, the running back is going to be good money no matter what on this, because just like we said with the read option, even if that guy crashes down, he doesn't really quite get to the running back. So you can still take the running back up the middle. I mean, right there, the offensive line just sold us. But a lot of these triple options have very quick handoffs. So you can just take it with the running back. I mean, and sometimes it just parts like the Red Sea, and it's just easy touchdowns. So you really can't mess up ever just letting it go to the running back. I like to let the running back take it a lot on triple options because, like I said, even if they crash down, you're not going to lose yards. But if he does crash down, what you want to do is keep it. And look, you see what happened right there? You see how we read the play? We're going to actually go to the instant replay on this because this is a little bit more difficult. You have to practice it. So let me just walk you through everything that we saw here. We're watching 44 on the end. He's the read key. We see, boom, he's running in. We see he's immediately crashing. So we hold the A or X button to pull it back with the QB. Now we're watching this guy right here. He is the pitch key. What is he going to do? We can see that he doesn't like really fully commit yet. And then we see like, well, he's not committing to the QB. And then he does eventually commit to the running back. But at this point, we know we can take it with the QB because he's not crashing hard on us. So that's what we did. We made the right read and we took it. Now, if we would have pitched it, he still might have bugged out and we still could have got yards. So again, if you mess up, it's not always the end of the world. But this is how you want to read it. We read it perfectly here and we picked up a big chunk of yards got down, didn't take any hits. So let's read it again. You can see he crashes down. Here, the guy came to the QB. This is perfect. This is playing out just perfect for, you know, tutorial purposes here. This time, we got the same thing in terms of the first guy crashed down on the running back again, so we pulled it. Again, we could still hand that to the running back because 44 ain't going to get to him. He's too far behind him, but the right read here is to pull it, which we did, and now we can see the pitch key guy, he's running hard at the QB here. So we're like, oh, we got to get rid of this. We can't keep it. Boom. And then we pick up big yards. So that's how you run a triple option. Now that you know how to run all the options, you need to know about the best ball carrier moves so that you can make people miss in the open field, and you can check out that video right here.